What is going on, you absolute beautiful people? Hope you guys are having an amazing start to the week. I wanted to come at you guys today as promised and give you my 2 cents on the state of the economy, the state of things, help break down what the hell is a tariff, what is going on, and my opinion in 3 simple, easy steps. Step number 1, what the heck is a tariff? Step number 2, why is it important? And then step number 3, my personal take and kind of what we can expect for the near future. So I'm a bit of a visual person, so I kind of put this together. In this model here, we have 3 countries. On the left, let's call him Taxpayer Ted. Taxpayer Ted, he owns an apple orchard. He harvests apples, and let's just say he has a profitable apple business. He sells locally to his community, but he also sells to exporters. Exporters are going to be marked by T for trader. So Ted, he's got his apple business. He will pay tax whenever he sells to a trader. C is going to be our countries in these scenarios. So he's obviously going to be kind of governed by the local laws of that country. If you know, a 10% sales tax is what they want to charge him, that's fine. The trader in this scenario is going to trade with another importer. So the exporter will trade to the importer. And in this model here, we've got, call it Citizen Kim. Citizen Kim lives in a country where apples are not the forte for that country. They have pine trees. They're into forestry. So all things being equal, there's a really nice trade going on here. Ted will supply the traders with apples. The apples will then get sold on through to the country with pine trees, and conversely, it goes the same exact way. And so on. So that is a normal global supply chain, and of course I'm leaving out a lot here. There's shipping companies involved here, there's port companies, all sorts of distribution here. But for the sake of this example, Ted is the expert in apples and Kim is the expert in pine trees, and it's to their mutual benefit for them to work together. Here's where it gets interesting. Why would a country want to implement a tariff? There's a couple of reasons. Reason number 1, you've heard it from the White House. They need to increase revenue and lower their expenses, right? If they now charge an import tariff on Kim's pine trees, well, that's going to bring revenue up, right? Makes sense. Countries are businesses. They need to be run as businesses here. So there's one reason here, but probably the most common reason that we're personally seeing kind of at play here is going to be to stifle competitive geopolitical opportunity. So given this model, we're going to now introduce country 3. Country 3 is a new country. They have the ability to grow pine trees or apples. But let's say they have now harvested a blue apple. They've created this amazing new product. And guess what? They have a business. The business operates in country 3. Country 3 will have their exporters, and their exporters would love to sell to both country 1 and 2. And if I'm country number 1, this creates a bit of an issue, right? Taxpayer Ted over here doesn't really like this notion of someone coming in with a better product, or maybe it's a better product and lower priced. So what will happen here is country 1 will implement an import tariff on trader 3, country 3's blue apples. This can be as high or as low as it wants to be. It depends really on the relationship. But that is a tax or a fee that now trader 1 has to pay at kind of duty and when the goods are being processed on the international borderline. Now, Trader One, let's just say he's a good, upstanding person here, and he's got a family, but he doesn't really want to take that from his profit margin. So he's making 20% profit on all the import, and if there's going to be a 15% tariff on these blue apples, that's not going to work for him. That is simply a cost that now he has to relay all the way down to the citizens over here of country one. So this is kind of the model at play here. You have thousands and thousands of supply chains at work. EVs, soybeans, oil, natural gas. We're talking about commodities, resources, goods, rarely services, but things that importers and exporters trade on a day in, day out basis. What we are experiencing right now is the United States declaring trade wars. They are saying, hey, we need to bring our manufacturing back to America. And what we are going to do is penalize these importers by selectively choosing products and commodities that are made outside of the US. Now, all things being equal, that's fine in theory. In theory, you would think that, okay, well, sure, let's promote US manufacturing. The dilemma is when you dig into it, there are countries that are simply specialists in those fields, right? We have the pine tree. If Ted over here lives in the climate perfect for apples, but they can't grow pine trees, it doesn't make sense to try and force pine trees to grow when you're the expert in apples. So something to bear in mind. My personal hot take on this and kind of the end result that we will witness is we are obviously experiencing the rise of nationalism in the United States right now. That's fine. It is what it is. Hey, be proud to be from the country that you're from. But what you will end up having is an economy that is not functioning like it's meant to function. Some countries need to supply on those exports, right? If I'm making coffee beans in Colombia, right? I'm not going to make an iPhone in Colombia. That's not my forte. I am going to sell coffee and I am going to import tech. It's a kind of, it's a trading relationship that exists globally on so many different scales. So when it really boils down to it, the end result will, of course, be higher costs for consumers on products that need to be imported. And there's really no real winner. In my opinion, taxation is a little bit like theft. So if the government wants to take money away from, your pockets through the power of a tariff, then they are taking that money away from you. But inherently, what we'll see is the countries that can establish free trade relationships and they don't need to go tit for tat on tariffs, they will come out ahead, right? It's if we can agree, if we go back to country one and country two, if we can agree that this is a free trade relationship and there doesn't need to be the form for a tariff. I don't need to pay tariffs on the pine trees and the apples getting sent over. That's amazing. But a tariff to stifle geopolitical opportunity is never good for anyone. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts because obviously it's a hot topic right now. The S&P 500 is down 21% since Trump took office. He is calling it medicine. This is something the United States needs to do. And, hopefully folks are kind of seeing the writing on the wall with that. But yeah, if you're not diversified, if you hold all of your assets, all of your 401k is tied up in the US economy, and Trump has no problem asking you to fit the bill for his tariffs at the cost of your net worth going down because, we want to promote American-made jobs when American-made jobs It might be turning into automated jobs, and these factories aren't really going to be having American workers. They're going to be more robotic. So if that is okay with you, that's fine. But just understand, this is reality playing out right now. So to summarize, tariffs are the cost that an importer will pay due to a country's trade policy. They're implemented to increase government revenue and stifle geopolitical competition. And the end result will be a supply chain that affects the end consumer. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on all of this. If you have a hot take or something that I haven't missed, or even if you want me to cover something else, please drop me a comment. We'd love to hear from you guys. All the best, and as always, have an amazing day, and we'll see you guys on the next video.